Hello and welcome to Shift Focus, dear friends. This is a show that showcases the lifestyle and trends of the city, and this week we pay tribute to the golden voice of Bollywood. Take a leap into the magical world of the arts, indulge in some yummy recipes, and finally let your hair down at two of the city's hippest parties. Now to know more, you've got to stay with me for the next 30 minutes. Metro plus theatre equals party and art. Songs from the man who made Amitabh, Shashi and Shami Kapoor the heartthrobs of romance. Health B, Taste B, all under 30 minutes. This month is very special for a couple of reasons. Come 15th and we celebrate our country's freedom. Next, we celebrate the city of Chennai on Madras Day. And finally, we owe a good week of entertainment thanks to the Metro Plus Theatre Fest. And ringing in the celebrations for theatre buffs was a pre-fest party at the park. We're the Metro Plus Theatre Fest pre-party. Now, if 5 editions was good, then the 6th edition is going to be full of surprises. We've got talent from all across the globe, so from US, from Korea, from Thrissur in Kerala, even Chennai. All this and more is right here at the Metro Plus Theatre Fest. So this year, if you thought last year was great, then this year has got a lot more in store.
Yeah!
The Metro Plus Theatre Fest 6th edition. What do we expect different this year?
We will wait and see how good it is. You always keep your fingers crossed, but it looks very good. And I think it's become, we try to combine the local, the national and the international. The Koreans do extremely well. We've had wonderful German presentations and very good and steady American monologues and so on. And I hope it'll live up to its reputation. Mukund tells me that it will be possibly the best in the 6 so far, but I'll keep my fingers crossed.
I think we, like any other festival, we're limited by budgets, but we go with what we can. And the great thing about the fest is, apart from the corporate sponsors, we've had a whole range of cooperation from consulates, cultural organizations. I mean, we have the US Consulate, the Goethe Institute, the Pro Helvetia, which is the Swiss Arts Council, and and so on board. And this makes it possible for us to bring a kind of theatre that we otherwise could not have.
The first 2 years saw us intensely participating and even being on stage with it. And after that, it's been a very rational yet sad decision to step back and manage the entire thing, because I think Chennai theatre and audiences benefit from this mammoth spectacle that happens, which only gets bigger and better every year. And I would say we're a very, very fun, integral part of this recipe, which is doing very well.
Great week this, and I think we're all very lucky that this has been started and they've continued with it. I think everyone was wondering whether they would really be able to keep it going year after year. So I think we're looking forward to a good week of interesting theatre.
Well, the Metro Plus Theatre Fest is definitely an exciting week of plays, but of course there are going to be the favourites. Ratna, do you have a favourite?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to The Agony and the Ecstasy of Steve Jobs.
Now, if you thought the party set the mood, then nothing can beat this year's edition of the fest. So with no further ado, let's get right into it. Could the Hindu Metro Plus Theatre Fest have asked for a better start? Opening this year's edition were flubber-like performers, freestyle dancers and uninhibited comedians who presented Breakout, extreme dance comedy from Korea. hilarious play revolved around the power of a sacred text that steered the clumsy escapade of 5 prisoners. Whether it was dodging the cops in a tunnel or the innocent falling in love with nuns, the Beat Boys from Korea had the audience in splits. The innovative performance used no dialogues but kept the audience rooted to their seats.
The acrobatics are very good. Some of the dancers were really graceful.
Yeah. And there was some nice comedy when they were escaping through the cave and they had little puppets. That was very nice.
Day 2 of the fest took on the rural flavour of Pichampuram. The tale of revenge was set in the colourful and over-dramatic world of films. Indian films, that is. Inspired by the Swiss classic play The Visit by Swiss-German playwright Frederic Doranmet and based on an original story written by Rashmi Ruth Devaneesan, Miss Meena made for an evening of uninterrupted entertainment.
Asha, do you remember me?
How could I ever forget you, Ravi?
It's so good to see you, Asha. After all these years, I never thought I would see you. I'm very happy.
I always knew we would meet, Ravi. But you must stop calling me Asha. I am Miss Meena now.
Now who would think cane couders, an empty suitcase frame, steel buckets or even a hanger would double up as everything unimaginable? Exactly what director of the play, Rajiv Krishnan, had wanted his props and actors to convey.
In Pere Ranganayaki, na Mail Manikathoda Akka. In Dur Koil Gurukal Rikarle Sama Sastri. Havardanga Topanar. Na Vandi Iniki, Paitikari Mari Narchikatapore.
And it's nice to have this opportunity to be part of this festival, and we're quite excited about it, and we hope the audience will have a good time.
The music, singing and background sounds transported us to a remote village. And how can you forget the romantic setting of the forest where Miss Meena and her former lover Ravi would play silly love games. The 100-minute performance took us back and forth from Miss Meena's film reel to the real world of betrayal, aspiration for stardom, and the desire to be set free. The Metro Plus Theatre Fest isn't only about theatre. It's about music, it's about performing arts, and it's about sharing a good time with the friends that you like. And that's what this Theatre Fest is all about.
Madhav Singh, sir.
Sit. Maddie. Are you Maddie? Do they call you Maddie?
No, ma'am. Madan is Maddie.
From the rural setting of Pichampuram to the urban setting of Kolkata, Neil Chowdhury's Tara Mandal brought 3 days of good theatre to a gripping climax. Exploring human ambition in his play, Neil Chowdhury draws his inspiration from Satyajit Ray's short story, Patol Babu, film star.
कल जो तुमने मुझे कहा था You know, I love you. उसके लिए thanks. मिलते हैं तुम्हारी शिल्पा.
The parallel narratives in the performance of the protagonist Patol tells the story of Patol, who gets himself a chance to act in a movie at the age of 50 while tracing the experiences he missed. While day 2 at Pichampuram took us through a vivid array of props, day 3's performance opted for black boxes instead. Winner of the Metro Plus Playwright Award 2010, Neil Chowdhury's expectations from the Chennai audience was...
I think they were fantastic. I seemed to laugh at all the right moments, and there's a lot of silence in the play, and I think the audience, sometimes there's a propensity for them to get restless, but this audience was really good. They were really patient. I felt like they were really listening, so I'm really happy.
We really enjoyed the play, and the theme was different, and yeah, it was really nice.
The Metro Plus Theatre Fest has a lot more surprises in its goodie bag, so remember to watch the show next week because I'll bring you the remaining few days of the fest. Now, since I'm talking about theatre, now let's refresh your GK, and if you know where theatre originated, then send in your answer to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com and you can win yourself a day of pampering at the Anushka Spa and Salon. Now it's time to whip out your history books and get mailing in, so I'll see you after the break. Find out Chennai's geographic and lifestyle latitude and longitude on the national map.